Welcome to Black and Blue Garage. My name is Thomas, and I have purchased these high pressure steering lines from Amazon. It's a company called ICT. It's the same company that makes the brackets to rearrange the accessories on the front of my 5.3 LS engine that's going into this 1988 Jeep Comanche. I'd like to show you really quick how I measured to get these lengths from ICT. But before that, I'd like to warn you and apologize that the last three videos had really horrendous audio. And then we'll be right back with this new mic that I bought, and we'll finish up the install and everything will be just back to normal. Enjoy. Really quick, because I'm getting ready to order some steering lines for this LS engine in the Jeep Comanche. And it has occurred to me that to measure all this out with a tape measure, you'd have to measure, 2 inches and then go 3 inches and then try to do some crazy math for the bends, because this doesn't really bend on a curve. It bends at a 90-degree angle and you get a little bit of bend on that, but that's just not how hoses bend. So in able to get around this, at work we like to take a piece of 3/8 cotton rope. I don't have a lot of cotton rope, and cotton rope is a little saggy. So I was digging around a little bit because I just finished the brakes and I have some of this polystyrene tubing, and it's flexible enough to, kind of mimic where a hose will go, because hoses have a natural bend like that. You could also use just a piece of hose, but if you don't have any and you have something like this, that'll work. You can actually use this piece of old garden hose. You could use old fuel line. You can use a string if you hold it up so that it kind of simulates how a hose would behave once you've installed it. But for now, I'm just going to use this stuff. I know that there's going to be a 90-degree angle here just because I know what ICT sells as far as power steering lines. And so I'm going to feed this tube up to here and kind of measure that right there. And it's going to swoop down, and then I kind of want it to go straight down to one of these. And then I know exactly where that's going to be down here. Misses everything, which is amazing. And then once you have your finger or your mark on that, you know exactly how long your hose is going to be. Why am I oily? Why am I oily? Okay. Then you can take your tape measure and lay your rope or your hose or your cotton thing, lay that down there and find out how long of a hose you need. It looks like I need to buy the 12-inch one. So now that we've figured out that method of measuring hoses, now we can apply that to the steering ram, which is right here. You can barely see it. Let me just raise you up a little bit. There you go. So on my steering ram, I have 2 fittings, one in the back and one on the front. And those are where the fluid gets pushed in to move my tie rod back and forth, because this steering ram is moving in and out. And those hoses need to go onto these ports right here, where my friend Ashland has tapped and ported this brand new steering gearbox. I'm going to hold one end here, and I'll pull the other end up to where it needs to go, giving myself a little bit of slack because I know that this whole axle is going to probably articulate up and down, and if I make my hoses too short, it'll start pulling on the lines and the fittings, and I'll start to develop a leak. Something you may have missed from before is I had an old power steering line from the Jeep Comanche, and I put it into this Corvette steering pump, and just looped it back up into the reservoir. And that's just so I could run the engine without burning up the pump by letting it run dry.
Now I'm going to take my 12-inch hose with this 90-degree adapter and 90 degrees on this end. I'm going to go ahead and screw that onto that fitting. Okay, so I'm still working out a way to how I'm going to protect these hydro assist lines that go underneath the engine so that it protects it from all the wear and tear of the moving parts down there. And that I need to take care of is the return line from the steering gearbox back to the steering pump. And for that, that's normally where you would want your power steering cooler to be located at. For that, I'm going to try to mount this cooler here that I bought also on Amazon. It comes with these Dash 6 hose adapters. Then I also bought this temperature gauge that's a 6AN inline fitting. So I can go in from the power steering gearbox and then out back into the power steering pump just to make sure that I'm cooling my power steering fluid correctly. Well, that about does it for this week of Black to Blue Garage. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, entertaining, and hope you like my new audio setup. Join me next weekend. I'm going to get a whole bunch of little stuff done. Be a long silent video of me just finishing this up, maybe even starting it and running around the yard. So God bless, have a good weekend, and happy Thanksgiving.
It's 100% not perfect.